Hello, we are going to do a dumbbell full body 5 exercises 4 round workout. We're going to be working for 40 seconds with a 20-second rest in between each exercise, which is going to equal 20 minutes in total. I recommend that you do a warm-up first, so you can either watch an on-demand warm-up or just do your own general full body warm-up. Exercises that we're going to be doing today are a dumbbell front squat with bicep curl, a kneeling plank alternating row, a bridge floor press, dumbbell hold Deadbugs, and finishing with an alternating Z press. So we're going to start with 40 seconds of squats. So grab your dumbbells, place them on top of the shoulders. I'm going to go down into the squat, bicep curl up. So I want to make sure the feet are shoulder width apart, knees out, pushing up. So front squats to bicep curl, down into the squat, knees out, push up from the heel, all the way down, all the way up with the bicep curl. Top of the shoulders down. Want to make sure that our chest is facing forward, our knees are out, and our hands are on the inside of the knees as we go down into the squat. So you want to go at your own pace. Make sure you can keep up for the full 40 seconds. We're going to rest, and then we're going to go into a kneeling alternating plank. So for this one, we want to take our kneeling push-up position, make sure the core is engaged, that the glutes are engaged, and then we're going to come up with one hand, back down, and then we're going to alternate. So, roll into the hip and back down. So as we're performing this movement, I want to focus on bringing the dumbbell all the way into the hips. If you feel like your hips are twisting, we can change position. One side up, and we can do 20 seconds here. And then we can switch and we can do 20 seconds on the other side, and that's just going to be a better position for the hips. Otherwise, if the lower back is fine and you feel nice and strong and stable in the position, then we're going to go back to our kneeling position. 20 seconds rest, and then we're going to go into a glute bridge floor press. So we're going to be working the chest, the triceps, and the glutes as we hold the top of the glute bridge position. So start at the top of the glute bridge, make sure you can't see your knees, that means that you're high enough up. Then we're going to bring the elbows down to 45 degree. Make sure that your wrist is over your elbow. We're in alignment. You're feeling it in the glutes, you're not feeling it in the quads. If you're feeling it in the quads, move your legs a little bit further away from you. If you're feeling it too much in the hamstrings and the back of the legs, then it means that your feet are a bit too far away from your bum. So bring them a little closer until you feel it 90, 100% in the glutes. I want to make sure that when we come up, we bring the dumbbells close, but not too close. We don't want to be hitting them together. And 20 seconds rest. And then we're going to go into our dead bugs. So we're going to hold the dumbbells over us in a nice stacked position. We're going to bring one leg down at a time, working our core. So dumbbells up, legs up, one leg down, and then bring it back up before bringing the other one down. So knees are slightly bent. Dumbbells are over the chest. Make sure that the lower back is flat against the floor. Always should not feel this in the lower back at all. If you're feeling it in the lower back, it means that you're probably going down a little bit too low with the leg. And as a result, you're bringing that lower back off the floor. So it's going to take the tension away from the core, which is where we want it to be. So for that, you're just going to bring the legs a little bit further away from the floor. So we've got 20 seconds rest, and then we're going to go into an alternating Z press. This can be quite difficult if you're lacking a bit of hip mobility. So I recommend putting a yoga block or a plate underneath the bum, and that'll just help you to tilt your hips forward. Otherwise, we're going to take the legs as wide as we can. We're going to lean forward, nice and tall spine, and then we're going to alternate a Z press. So think about driving the heels into the ground, keeping the quads nice and engaged. The knees are straight as you push up into your Z press. Dumbbell stays on top of the shoulder as the other one goes up. We want to bring the arm in towards the ear. We want to make sure that in that top position, the arm is over the ear, stacked over the ear. It's not in front of the ear. So that's one round done. We're going to go back into our squats. So when we're setting up for the squats, nice shoulder width position. That's going to allow us to go down into a nice deep squat position. Dumbbells on top, elbows on the inside of the legs as we go down. All the way down with the arms, no swinging, bringing it all the way back up to the shoulder. Down as deep as you can go while keeping your back straight. So we don't want to be tucking the bum underneath in the bottom position. Shouldn't feel anything on the lower back. Should think about sticking the bum out. Engage the quads throughout the movement. And we're going to go into a kneeling alternating plank. So remember, you can do 20 seconds on one side, where we're going to row in with one hand to the opposite of the front leg, and then do the same thing on the other side. That's going to be our modified version for those of you that struggle to keep the hips forward, feel it in the back. And for everyone else, we're just going to go into our kneeling plank, alternating row. So make sure the dumbbells are quite close to you, that the wrist is underneath the shoulder. We don't want the dumbbells to be too far in front of us, otherwise that's going to really work the front of the shoulder, where we want to be focusing on working the back. Yes, you're going to feel it in the shoulder just because of the position that we're in, but when you row up, you want to feel it in the back. The shoulder blade is touching the spine, and we're working the lat. 20-second rest, and then we're going to go into our floor press again. So remember, with our floor press, we want to keep a slight arch in the back. That's going to pin our shoulders down and not going to rotate them forward. So we want to engage the core. Obviously, we want to push our lower back into the ground like when we do the dead bugs. But when we're doing a floor press, the position of the shoulder is more important. So by having a little arch in the lower back, that's going to allow us to pin the back of our shoulders down on the floor. So knuckles facing up, want to make sure the wrist is straight. If the knuckles are facing behind you, your wrist is going to be flexed, and you can get some wrist pain, forearm pain from that. Elbows at 45 degrees. As soon as you touch the floor, that's your cue to come straight back up. 20-second rest, then we're going to go into our dumbbell holds with dead bugs. So for this one, we do want to work the core, so we want the lower back to be flat. So think about breathing out, pushing the ribs down, back flat completely against the floor. Think about the whole square of the core turning on and being fully engaged. So let's go. So we don't want to perform this fast. Actually, we want to go down slow and controlled. And then we can pause for a second at the bottom and come back up, and that's what's going to really target the core. And come up a little bit faster, but down slow. Hold for a second, bring it back up. Back completely flat against the floor. If you can't do that, just reduce the range of motion of the legs. Don't take them as far down, or keep them bent. You can tap the heel to the floor and keep the knee bent. Go into a supine march. That's going to be a regression exercise for the dead bug. So Z press, if you struggle to keep the back straight, remember, yoga block underneath the bum, or a set of books or a plate will just help to keep that upright position, a little bit of an arch in the lower back to make sure that we're not straining from there. Legs out as wide as you can, actively pushing the heels into the floor, knees straight, quads engaged. You might feel it in the hip flexors as well, holding this position as we go into an alternating press. Core engaged, engage the core as you're pressing the dumbbell up, nice straight arm in line with the ear, keep pressing the heels actively into the floor. Knees straight, knuckles up. Oh. 2 rounds done, 2 more rounds. Back into our squats. Shoulder width position. With the feet. And we're going to start. So, knees out. All the way down, all the way up. If you're feeling a little tired, you can slow the movements down. Focus on the form. Focus on feeling it where you should. When I go down, it's hamstrings, it's quads, it's glutes, it's the whole lower body. Then I take the arms, fully extend the arms, all the way back up for the biceps and down into the legs. "20 seconds rest, kneeling plank row." So I'm going to do the modified version, but otherwise stick to your kneeling alternating row. Otherwise we're going to do 20 seconds per side. So hands on the inside of the leg, row into the hip and back down. So we're going to do 20 seconds here and then switch. As we row it in, we're pulling the shoulder back, bringing the dumbbell into our hip. We're not driving the elbow too far up, we're just bringing it enough in that we can touch the hip. Switch sides. So here we're working lat and back. Might also feel it in the arm. 20-second rest. Into our floor press. So 45-degree angle, the elbows, knuckles facing up, slight arch in the lower back, shoulders pinned to the floor, elbows in at 45 degrees, down slow and controlled. As soon as you tap the floor, that's your cue to go back up. So we're not resting in the bottom position. Think slow, controlled on the way down, tap, explosive movement on the way back up. In terms of speed, going down should be slower than coming up. I want to be a little bit more explosive with the concentric part of the movement. "20 seconds rest, and then we're going to go into our dead bugs again. So a modified version for the dead bugs is knees bent at 90 and then just tapping the heel to the floor, or bringing the heel close to the floor and bringing it back up. Otherwise, we're going to go for a straight leg dead bug position. Grab your dumbbells over the chest. We want to breathe out as we take that leg down. As we breathe out, we breathe down deep into the core. Think pelvis area. So in, out, in, out. And that's the breathing that we want to maintain. Obviously don't force it, do what feels natural, but try not to hold the breath and try not to breathe in on the way down, because that's going to be counterproductive. We want to engage the core. The easiest way to do that is to breathe out and fire the muscles. 20-second break into our Z press. Legs wide, roll onto the front of the hip. Lean forward slightly, you're going to feel it in the hamstrings, you're going to feel it in the adductors. Heels down, might also feel it in the hip flexors. Nice, tall spine, engaging the core as we push up. Actively push the heels down into the floor, straight knees, front of the legs engaged. Nice tall spine. Okay, 20-second rest and last round. So last set of squats to bicep curl. Hips back, knees out, push up from the heel. Hips back, knees out, push up from the heel. This side, I'm going to slow down a little bit because I'm tired, but I'm going to focus on full range of motion, so going as low as I can with a good position and then coming all the way back up. So I'm going to work a bit more on the mobility side and slow down the speed. Second rest into alternating row. So dumbbell slightly in front. Into the hip and back down. Core engaged, glutes engaged. Make sure your bum's not sticking in the air and you've got a table position. Everything is leaning forward, down towards the bell. And in a nice straight line. Head's not hanging down, your chin is tucked. Engage the core. As you bring the dumbbell up, stop the hips shifting. Whew. 20 seconds rest. Last floor press. Arch in the back, shoulders pinned down, knuckles facing up. Working the chest and the triceps. Down slow, controlled. Touch the floor. That's the cue to go straight back up. Knuckles up to the ceiling. Core engaged to help push the dumbbells. So use your core to assist with the lift back up. "20 seconds rest, and then we're going to go into Deadbugs. 2 more exercises, and then we're finished with our full body dumbbell workout. Dumbbells up, knuckles up, 1 leg at a time. Back completely flat against the floor. Lower back pressed into the floor. Breathe out on the way down and in on the way up. Hold it at the bottom for a second. Feel the core engage, come back up. Last 20-second rest, then our last alternating Z press, hardest exercise for last. Legs wide, lean forward, heels press into the ground, knees press into the ground, quads engaged. Sit on the sit bones. Make sure you're evenly distributing the weight. You're not leaning to one side. Actively press the heels into the floor. Nice tall spine, core engaged. Knuckles facing up to the ceiling, wrist straight. Working the shoulders. And that's it. That's your dumbbell full body 5 workout exercises with 4 rounds.